Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
And hasn't had a drink today is fabulous, that's for sure. I have to tell you that I have been very, I have gone through the gamut of emotions to do this workshop. And, you know, when somebody asks me to speak on the steps, you know, I'm right there. I mean, it's, you know, because I love the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And, you know, and I love the steps. And it's because I love the steps and I so thoroughly love Alcoholics Anonymous, I will tell you that I'm 20 years sober. And I don't tell you that out of ego, because it'll help you understand what the rest of what I'm going to have to say will make a bit more sense. I got sober in a group of people that really was very, what I now know, and this is all, what you're going to hear today is my opinion. You're going to hear other opinions from other people. But I grew up in an AA that I believe was a little bit archaic and a little bit, not a little bit, a lot judgmental. And I realized that fear sometimes perpetuates those kinds of things. And I was told you didn't take any medications, and I mean none. I mean, when I got sober, I knew people that went to the dentist and didn't get Novocaine, which is absolutely insane. So I have to give you a little bit of history on me so that you understand this. You know, and I have always had sponsorship. My sponsor is Don Norman, who I love dearly. I've been working with Donald for the last 16 years. And Donald knows everything about me. And what happened is I have hepatitis C. And I was treated for it probably 7 or 8 years ago at Cedars. And it went down to a 0 count and da-da-da-da-da. And then what happened is it came back. And I am now on treatment again for hepatitis C. And I have been on the treatment for 6 months. And at first I didn't want to tell anybody because of those old voices that I got when I was sober. The medication, I mean, I'm not going to soft soap this, and I've had many conversations with Donald about this. The bottom line is the medicine that I'm taking is kicking my ass, you know, and what I know is that sometimes, I mean, a lot of time, I mean, I can't tell you how many people have walked up to me this weekend and said, you look great. And what I want to say is you have no idea what my body's feeling like. You know, and it's difficult. I mean, you know, I tell you what's happened is I've gotten to the point where I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to hug people. I just want to keep people away because I'm sick of talking about this. But you know what I know? After 20 years, if I don't talk about this, I'm going to drink. My program tells me that I have to find a God who can get me through anything. And I have found one. Because this is not, I mean, I'm a bad drunk. Real bad drunk. You know, and I couldn't go hours without a drink before I got here. And so one of the things is that one of the other parts of the big book that really kind of jumped out at me when I thought about doing this workshop is it's in how it works. And it says here, being all powerful, he, in capital letters, so God provided what we needed. If we kept close to him and performed his work well, Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves. I love this line. Our little plans and designs, okay? That kind of knocks out any egotism and grandiosity. Our little plans and designs. And more we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. As we felt new power flow in, as we enjoyed peace of mind, and as we discovered we could face life successfully, we became conscious of his presence. We began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, the hereafter. We were reborn. I have been reborn in Alcoholics. Hi, Armando and Nick. I have been reborn in Alcoholics Anonymous. And you know, I have been scared to death to tell any of you. I mean, my sponsor, and God bless my wife, you know, and the family. And I want to say thank you very much to my friends and family and everything. And this little voice up here is our youngest granddaughter. So I've got a lot to live for, you know. And the truth of the matter is, there have been times in the last 6 months that I've been on this treatment. I am not a person who sees the glass half empty. I have always been, I mean, Pat can attest to it. I mean, I always see things with the glass half full. I'm always looking on the bright side of life. And I have to tell you, when I got to the point, and you know why, the reason why I don't want to tell you these things, I don't want you to judge me. Okay? I want you to think that I'm a wonderful member of Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, and I just keep rising. And you know what that is? That's my pride, my ego. You know, and it's been kicked to the bottom of the bucket the last 6 months. I don't want to tell you that I got so down a couple months ago. I finally understood the people that I judged. Now hear me, the people that I judged about talking about not wanting to live, I got there. I got there. And I have had to take medicine to make sure that I don't kill myself. Now, anybody sitting in here, feel free to judge, you know, because I've been there. I mean, I'm 20 years sober. I judged other people for doing that. And you know what I know in this program? Anytime you got one finger out, there's 3 pointing back, you know, and you got a lesson to learn. I mean, I have known that the whole time I've been sober, you know, and I mean, it's not fun being on this treatment. I mean, every weekend, I was fighting to keep my eyes open before this workshop. Every weekend, I'm down, you know. I'm usually napping on the weekends because I've got to do a shot on Friday night. And there have been times it's like, what the use? What is the use of doing all this? You know, it came back from before. And what the use is, Alcoholics Anonymous and God has given me the willingness to live today. And I don't want to kill myself anymore, you know, and I don't mean just literal. I'm talking about when I drank and when I used. I love my life today. You know, I wouldn't be where I am today if I wasn't sober. I wouldn't be making the decisions to go towards health and listen to doctors. I'm one of those people that never went to doctors because I thought that they were all fools, you know, and the truth of the matter is there are people that are much more educated than I am that knows what the hell they're talking about. And, you know, I mean, I see, and it's not just me. I mean, my partner, I mean, I'm a caretaker. I'm one of those people that likes to work 12 hours a day. I like to I mean, I'm going, you know, go to AA meetings, go to work, take care of stuff, I have not been able to do any of that for 6 months. And it's kicking my butt, you know, it is really kicking my butt. And I don't like it. And, you know, it bothers me to see what my honey has to pick up the ball. I mean, she's doing everything. That's my pride. That's my pride and my ego. And, you know, this has been, and I have been through deaths. You know, I have held people's hands when people were dying of AIDS. you know, and I keep thinking, you know, there's, on some level, I guess I thought, you know, I've been through most of this stuff, you know, I get to kind of cruise along through life now. Well, guess what? Life doesn't let you cruise all the time, you know, and I mean, this treatment, I made the decision for health because of the fact that I'm sober. And you know what? I have been listening. I mean, I have been working very closely with a couple of nurses that, you know, sometimes care more about me than I care about myself, you know, and out of the whole group of people that they see, I'm the only one still working. And I beat myself up because they sent over a letter to my boss. I'm not allowed to work more than 8 hours a day, which kicks my ass. I mean, I'm an overachiever. And they keep reminding me that the treatment, excuse me, the treatment really has completely changed my chemistry. And it has to kill the hep C virus. The side effects are ass-kicking, you know, and my sponsor, I mean, the line in the big book that fits him probably most appropriately is, we are sure that God wants us to be happy, joyous, and free, you know, and I can see that light at the end of the tunnel. I only have to be on the treatment for another 6 months, but that light at the end of the tunnel is so dim to me right now. And I was a little surprised. I mean, I thought, okay, who told somebody when they asked me to do this workshop, you know? But what I've learned is I have to tell you guys what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, because you're only as sick as your secrets, you know? And Alcoholics Anonymous has saved my life a number of times. And you know, we aren't a glum lot, you know, and I enjoy being happy, joyous, and free. And sometimes I just can't move off the couch, and that's got to be okay. It has got to be okay. I am my worst enemy with all this stuff going on, you know, so on the other hand, I am so willing. One of the things when I was taught when I was new in Alcoholics Anonymous, you don't turn down an AA request. You know, I have to share my experience, strength, and hope when asked. And, excuse me. You know, and if there's something that I can say, something that I can share, a hug that I can give somebody, you know, I want to do that. And I don't mean that from, aren't I wonderful? It's because people did that for me. They continued to do that for me in these last 20 years. And, you know, coming to this convention, I mean, I think I've been here probably 18 out of the last 20 years that this has been in existence. You know, I keep showing up. I keep showing up because I've got a God that has walked me through everything and anything. And I know I'll get through this too. But it's tough to remember that, you know, when you're feeling like crap, you know, and you can't move. You can't move off the couch because you're just so tired. And, sorry. I mean, and this may not sound like a big thing to you, but one of the other things that I was taught when I was newly sober, and Leroy talked about it yesterday at the panel, I was told to wear my sobriety, you know, that I was to dress and give respect to the program that got me sober. For me to show up in a sweatshirt is far beyond anything I would possibly think about doing. And you know what? I have been freezing all morning, and I know it's part of what goes on with the medicine. So I had nothing more than, you know, we got a sweatshirt over at the commemorative things. And that has to be okay. That has to be okay today. And I get scared to death, you know? I get scared to death. What if this doesn't work? You know? And Whew, boy, I'm really just bearing the soul today. But, you know, if my God can take this alcoholic, you know, and the bottom line is I was a junkie for a number of years, and I know this is Alcoholics Anonymous, but that's the direct result of why I have Hep C, and keep me alive long enough that at 20 years sober, I get to put my pride aside and my ego aside and tell you, you know, that I hurt, this is tough, this is uncomfortable, you know, I'm scared to death, then that's what I have to do. And, you know, my family has been so supportive, you know, with all this going on. And I beg you, absolutely beg you, to find a sponsor that totally understands you, that you work these steps. It's the one thing that has continued to keep me going. You know, sometimes I've been too tired to go to meetings. I mean, if I get a couple of meetings in a week now, that's amazing. I'm sorry, granddaughter's in the middle just making all these cute noises. But I don't want to drink. I do not want to drink, which is really the miracle for this alcoholic. And I'm trying to find a way to kind of pull this together. But, you know, all throughout this book that, you know, this is the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And it talks about, we absolutely insist on enjoying life, you know. We're sure God wants us to be happy, joyous, and free. You know, find a God of your own. I mean, there is absolutely nothing that you can't go through in sobriety that God won't help you through. You know, if you hear nothing else from me today, this is an awesome, absolutely awesome program. And, you know, if I wasn't sober, I couldn't make decisions that are positive for my health. You know, I would have continued, you know, doing the damage that I did to my body. And like the reading said, we've done some damage. I mean, I don't know about the rest of you, but I did quite a bit of damage, you know. And, you know, so be good to yourself. Be really good to yourself and take care of yourself, because if God's kept you alive long enough to get you into this program, I really think that we owe God to take care of ourselves so we can continue, because our job here is to carry the message. And thank you all for listening.
Okay, at this time, it's for questions, so please remember, if you, this is questions, and if you need to share, there's a marathon meeting going on. Okay.
I'm Lynell, I'm an alcoholic. Thank you very much. I pray for your healing.
Thank you.
I have a disease where there's no cure, but it's not going to kill me. And so I have pain all the time. And, sorry.
It's okay.
And it's like, I don't know if it's my ego. It feels like it's gone. You know, I too am still working every day. And when I go to work, sometimes it's really hard. And so I walk in, and, you know, I work with a lot of people, and they're, you know, they're really good to me and stuff. And so sometimes I limp, or I look bad. And so they'll say, oh, you're having pain today, or they might say, how are you, or something like that. For the first several years, I would always like deny it in a, you know, not in a like dramatic way, but I would just say, you know, there's a question in this. I would somehow say it's fine, you know, because I didn't want them to look at me as ill, or feel sorry for them. Then I heard someplace that you're supposed to acknowledge how you feel. I mean, well, I'm so confused in that area because it's every day. So it's like, I'm not sure how to handle that. And, you know, I can talk to my sponsor and stuff like that, you know, and tell them how I'm really feeling. But my personality is, you know, I'm a glass half full too. And I also don't want to affirm it and manifest it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that one part where they're asking me, I can go on and, you know, live my day and try to be the best person I can be. But it's like I'm so freaking confused about that. And I don't know what to do. Any thoughts?
Tell me your name again.
Linnell.
Linnell. Thank you for the question.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom?
Let me it's pride and ego that's keeping you from talking to these people at work. When I first got put back on treatment again, and I can only share my experience. I mean, I didn't want anybody to know. You know, I want to like look good and, you know, and take care of business. And the bottom line is I had to tell my boss, you know, I had to tell the people that work for me because of the fact that I can't put in the hours that I put in, you know. And I hear what you're saying about the manifesting. What I don't do is I don't get into a lot of detail about it. I just acknowledge that that day I am so tired I can't get anything done. I don't, and that's it, you know, and then moving right along. Because what I have to do is, what's been difficult is keeping the balance of not going into the spiral. You know, because if I acknowledge that I'm feeling really shitty, sometimes it'll take over, and then the spiral will go down, and then I'll just have to acknowledge it, and then what I'll do is I'll go talk to somebody else at work, or, you know, just, you know, pick up the phone and call somebody, or, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't believe that you're affirming it. That's my opinion, because I don't feel that either, because I have always felt that way, you know, that disease has got this other, you know, side to it. And you know what, the truth of the matter is, you do the drugs and you do the drinking that I did some damage to my body, you know, and now I'm paying a price for it, you know. And so I just think it's important that we talk about it, you know, and I don't want people to get sick of hearing about it. And you know, and the bottom line is I'll go through these periods where my sweetie, God bless her, I'll make the decision, I'm not talking about it anymore, you know, and then all of a sudden we'll be going bit, 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 you know, we'll be picking at each other, and it's because there's no communication, you know. But if people know where you are, they know how to respond. You know, I believe when we don't tell where we are, we're being dishonest. So that's, you know, I hope that helps. Yes, Brian.
I'm Brian, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Brian.
Brian.
Thank you for your shit. Everything you said was just what I'm going through right now. It's like, if you talked about, you know, thoughts of suicide and stuff, I was just sitting up in my room, looking out the window and wanted to jump. Just wanted to get done with this because I'm so sick of this shit. This weekend has been like great, and then it's been really hard. And it's been friends of mine talking to me, like, sitting in the chair instead of trying to walk around. People have been trying to hug me, and it just ends up causing more pain and stuff. And, you know, you were talking about, you know, explaining to people. You know, and I'm sick of explaining to people. And I want to pull away right now so fucking bad. I just want to disappear. How do you stop yourself from doing that? Because right now it's like I just want to just probably all will die. I'm sick of it. And it's like, you know, you talk about the light in the tunnel, and, you know, I know that I'm supposed to have these treatments start and stuff, and they give me, you know, not that good chance of having them work for me. And then maybe surgery, and hoping that that'll work. And I just got off the phone just before I came in here also with somebody who's gone through some of the same back problems I'm having and everything. And, you know, and he's telling me about the stuff that he's all gone through with it, and that this hasn't worked, and this hasn't worked, and this hasn't worked. So it's like, it's just kind of, it makes me just want to right now. Literally, I sit in my room and out the window and tell myself to jump. Just say, fuck it. Get this done with. And how do you stop yourself from thinking that way?
This is the fact that you're here and the fact that you have friends, you know, you do need to continue to talk about it. And very seriously, you need to communicate with your physicians and whatever doctors exactly what you're feeling. Because I was too prideful and too afraid to do that. And the bottom line is two things. You're seeking treatment, you're talking to people who know what they're doing, and God wouldn't have kept you alive and sober this long to have you jump out a window. You know, and when times get tough, you got to continue to talk to people. Period. Because this will pass. I mean, it'll pass. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but it'll pass. And know that I love you. Somebody else have a question? Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Thank you so much for your share, John. You know, with my health challenges, I can't, like you, push myself as hard as I used to. And in the business that I have, you know, and I know you understand this because of your position, you know, it's like, okay, I have clients to please here, I have business to build here, you know, and so your natural inclinations to do, and trying to explain to these people, I cannot do. I mean, how do you handle that with other people? And, you know, because I know what I need to do to take care of myself, but I want to be able to do the things that are expected, and I know that that's my pride and that's my ego. I don't know how to effectively communicate to people that these are my limitations. You know, I don't know how to effectively communicate that. You know.
Just as easily as you tell me what your limitations are. That's what happens when you sponsor somebody. Busted. There are some of my clients, my bigger clients, that know that I am on treatment for Hep C. And if you don't think that those were the last people I wanted to tell, but if I don't take care of me, I'm not going to be any good for anybody, you know, and you really need to let people know if you've got limitations, because then you give them the opportunity to feel what they're feeling and their feedback. I mean, you're trying to control what you're feeling, what you're going to say to them, how they're going to react, all that other stuff. You know, it's insane. I mean, and it's even more tiring. It's more tiring on me, so I'm sure it's much more tiring on you, you know. And that's it. I mean, Our ego wants us to look good at all costs. And our disease wants to kick our ass and kill us at all costs. You know, so I think that's, you know, my personal opinion is when I start entertaining those kind of things, I mean, it's my disease wanting to jump in there again, telling me that I'm a piece of shit, I'm no good, I might as well drink and die. And I'm not. I am not a piece of shit. I am sober, I am, you know, and I gotta tell the truth. I gotta tell the truth at all costs. You know, and here's the bottom line. If the client doesn't like it, or a friend doesn't like it, and they leave your life, honey, I didn't want them there in the first place. I mean, it's just that simple, you know? I mean, we find funny little weeding out ways here in this program. We stay sober, you know? And there's people around. I only have people around me that love me today, period. If I feel any toxicness from somebody else coming, I'll keep them at a distance because I value who I am today. You know, and if somebody doesn't understand, fine, don't, just move on. And I know that sounds real black and white, but it's got to be. I mean, in my opinion, it's got to be. So, you know, and there'll be a 10-step later. Okay. Next question. Yes.
My name's Mike, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Mike.
I kind of came in here by accident because the other meeting was starting late, and I'm really glad I came on here and all kinds of stuff that I need to hear. And I actually have about 1 million questions, but I'm going to ask basically 2 that are kind of not exactly related. I was a year and a half and past that time. I was really, really ill. And I've had a really good recovery. I mean, incredible, almost unbelievable recovery. And I have to take all kinds of medicines that are supposed to be, they're prophylactics that keep me from getting certain diseases because I have AIDS and my T cells they keep going up finally after years and years of finally going up again. But I tend, as I feel better, to not recovery, you know. Now that I'm in sobriety, I've been told that I really need to listen to what I'm told and do what I'm told, you know, especially by my doctors and by the people here in this program. And the other question is, one of the things I was given after I got out of the hospital a couple years ago, I could only sleep like 2 hours a day, and my doctor put me on Clonopin. And right before I came back in the program, which is almost a year ago now, I was kind of abusing it. I was taking it just, you know, to get high, basically. And I keep telling her that I would like to get off of it, but she says no. You know, I tell her I'm in recovery now and all, and she says no. But I just would like to hear your thoughts on doing different meds like that in recovery and on, you know, sticking with my regimens. I know they're not really related.
Well, sticking with the regimen, the line that comes to mind out of the big book is, we are undisciplined people. You know, and we just are, you know, and I mean, I wasn't even good about taking vitamins. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've had to stick with a regimen of using a damn pill box. Now, you know, that feels like so grandma, grandpa, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? You know, I have to use it. So that helps me keep the regimen because I am undisciplined. Okay? The other part is, number one, I'm not a doctor. So I'm not going to make comment about, but what I have done and what I know here is, do you have a sponsor?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Get a sponsor, you know, I challenge these nurses that I'm dealing with unbelievably about anything that they're suggesting, you know, and you have to, I mean, what I know is you have to get real adamant, you know, because the pharmaceutical companies want to give you this and you know, and I flat out said, look, I'm not going to take anything I am 20 years sober. Do you not get it? So they went, okay, wait a minute. Let's see what we can do to find something else over here. And, but I had to jump up and down about it. And, you know, I don't know what your solution is, you know, but talk to your sponsor, you know, if you need to revisit with, you know, some other second opinion kind of thing. I mean, that's all I can offer on that thing. But yeah, get a pillbox. But yes, hi Steph.
Has self-injecting been a trigger for you, and if it has, how have you dealt with that? And also being,
Good question.
Being sick, not being able to get has that been a trigger, and so how have you dealt with those two?
Excellent question. That was Stephanie. When I was on the treatment,
Can you repeat the question?
louder.
Self-injecting, is that a trigger? Is that a trigger for Joan? And also being sick and being stuck on the bed, is that a trigger? To use drugs?
For anyone in here, what the trigger she's referring to is being an old junkie. When I was treated at Cedars, the first time I got the injection, the nurse did it. And I started sobbing, and nobody was more surprised than I was. I started sobbing. She said, "What's the matter? Did I hurt you?" And I said, "No. It's the first time I've ever had a needle in my body for anything good." So, but was it a trigger? I mean, I really had to continue to know that, you know, this was for good. This was for help. Did I still feel sometimes like a junkie? Because I would have to carry around the injections with me? You know? I mean, I'm going to tell a story. This is probably going to floor a lot of people. But when I was on the first treatment 7-8 years ago, I had to do injections 3 times a week. And I was secretary of Los Feliz. And I had to bring the injection with me. So I had to go in Los Feliz's bathroom to do the injection. Now, if you don't think that felt like an old junkie, I don't know who did. But I thought it was hysterical. I was doing it in Los Feliz, you know what I'm saying? But what I have learned is I do better having somebody else do it. And God bless my honey, she has done all the injections this time, you know. And I really understand, let me just kind of, to really help with that. I go to a support group, and it's really cool. It's like this mix of NA and AA. I mean, I didn't know what I was walking into, but we were all program people, of course. And the truth of the matter is what we all kind of talked about was, if you're working a good program, it's not going to trigger. You know, it's like, you know, you stay out of bars, you know, if it's going to be a difficult thing with you. I was sponsoring somebody in Palm Springs who was been through the, you know, the treatment for Hep C. And he knew that it was going to trigger him. So what he did is he had somebody else do it for him. So there's lots of ways of dealing with it, and I'm not triggered about it at all now. You know, they not getting up, you know, sometimes not being able to move out of bed. It's like, that's where my disease wants to jump in and go, well, shit, you can't do anything, you know, might as well, you know, and it's like, shut up and go away. You know, you've got to stay diligent with it. And I think that's why it's important. I've got friends that support me and friends that understand the treatment, you know, and I talk to people about it. I talk to people about it because other than by myself, honey, this is a bad neighborhood and I should go it alone. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, even after 20 years, it doesn't make any difference. So, you know, great question. No, I had completely forgotten about that. Because we hear the stories of sometimes newcomers who are on this treatment, you know, go back out again. And it doesn't have to be. It just doesn't have to be. So.
There's a question over there.
In the back. I see a hand, but, oh, there we go.
Hey, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
I'm sorry for walking my ladies. I just started the treatment, and this is my third day.
Uh-huh.
And first day, Friday, know, it was like, I feel like I couldn't believe I could get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, a little bit longer, and today I feel a little bit much better. And it's just that what you just said, for me, it's not, I've been in the program for 2 years, but, you know, this time around, I have 100 and some days. And, you know, it's just amazing that yesterday, I'm the kind of person that, you know, I have to do everything, and I hate not being able to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and it's hard. You know, staying still, you know, and I push myself, and then I get the headaches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the headaches are just crazy, it's just
Mm-hmm.
amazing. But it wasn't a trigger, you know, I did it myself. Things happen. I was supposed to do it with my sponsor, and just like, he didn't have time, and then it ended up 10:30 at night, and it had to be done.
Mhm.
The doctor wanted me to start. And it was so, I was afraid at first, you know, days before. But when I actually did the right on my stomach, it was just like this, you know.
Mhm.
And but the trigger thing comes in my head in the morning, like right away, not being able to get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just what I was, and right now it's like, what I want to know is like this. Obviously, I know now that it's going to go away, and I have a lot of people feel right here. You know, a couple of them that help me out. They've been through treatment like 10 months and 9 months and month and a half. But it's just like, you know, as I said, I'm the kind of person who wants to, and because of that, I can see how a person can get depressed,
Mhm.
like they say. And, I'm just not, I guess I was just trying to share that, because one thing that everybody told me, you know, that has gone through this treatment is just to share about every meeting, every chance you get in front of. And that's what I'm trying to do, because coming here for 2 days, you know, that's all I could do, and I haven't made it to my meetings that I share. This is the first one, and I don't know why I didn't make sure I get here on time, you know, because I was sitting eating lunch, you know. But I guess that's my business part now. I just didn't want, I wanted to be a little different, you know, but this is where I belong. So thank you.
Thank you, Franco. Question? Questions?
We have time for one more.
Let me just throw something out real quick. This is not, I mean, this is not a death sentence. I mean, it's, the God that I have, the God that you have from being here clean and sober can get you through anything, you know. And we're told all the time, you know, to keep that support group, you know, and however you need to develop that support group, do it. You know, I mean, it's our ego and pride that gets in the way. Like, oh my God, I can't tell somebody about something, you know. And I understand that because I've been through that. I mean, I didn't want you guys to know that. You know, I didn't want you to, you know, I would always keep, you know, this little bit of a persona out there. You know what? And it's bullshit. It really is. You know, I mean, if it took 20 years and this to kick my ass to say, okay, Joan, you know, you don't need to be, you know, still driven by your pride and ego. I mean, you know, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do, you know. And, you know, just grab one of us. Find a support group. And for anybody, let me just throw something out just in case. I know that if you do have difficulties, you can usually find your doctor or something if you need to get the injections. They'll do it for you. Oh, yeah. So there's lots of ways around all that. And I have to thank you guys. You made much more of a 12-step call on me. Trust me today.
We have time for one more question.
I'm Ralph, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Ralph.
Hi, Ralph.
Thank you, Joan, thank you so much.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know you, but I see you at every convention here, and that's important. I get, my thing is HIV, AIDS, and I get this a lot, is you look healthy. How can you be sick?
Right.
And I just got it from my sponsor, and I'm just like, boiling. I get that from a lot of people, and it just, because I don't reveal what's going on with my body. With HIV, there's a lot of things you just don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, how do you handle that? It happens a lot with people.
That's a great question, Ralph. That one above anything has kicked my ass. The question was people coming up to him and saying that he looks healthy and there's so many things going on with his body, some things he's not willing to discuss because of what's going on with his body, but just the overall people's perception is that you look fine. So, you know, shut up is what my mind says, you know. And that has been, it's been the most difficult. I mean, hell, all the stuff I did to my body, I can get through this physical stuff. I'll whine a little bit, but I can get through it. It's that other part, and I think that sometimes when I shut down is because I don't want to tell people because they're not going to get it anyway. You know, and I know that I'm, like I said, when I came to the convention, so many people said, oh my God, you look great, and da-da-da. You know, and I don't want to go, do you have any idea the headache that I have right now? I'm ready to throw up my lunch, you know what I'm saying? 10 minutes before this meeting, I mean, on the weekends, I get hit with this wave, because my red count is so damn low right now, that I can just go, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, people say, you look great. And so, what Don Norman taught me over the years is, honey, just bless them. Just bless them. You know, because and that's why it's important to have the support group. That's why it's important to talk to people who do, you know, have some of the physical things that you do. Because I can't expect somebody else to understand, you know. Is my honey still in? Oh, she's outside with the baby. But a couple of weeks ago, I mean, I'll be real open, as you guys can tell. About 2 weeks ago, my sweetheart, well, now we've been together 9 years. She's been with me through the first treatment. And we had, you know, a bit of a blow up. I thought, of anybody who knows me, do you know what I'm saying? But what I had to realize is, you know, sometimes it's always about us. Her father just passed away a month ago. It was her only parent. She's going through what she's going through, and sometimes, you know, it's not just about me, you know, so we have to sit down, we have to talk, and we have to walk through all that stuff. I'm so sick and tired of talking about this. I have, you know, I don't even want to, and that's part of it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm sick of it. But if I don't, how are people going to know and support me and love me with what's going on, you know? And so that's been the most difficult. You know, I'm really glad you asked that question, because that's the tough one, you know. And what I have found myself doing, because I know how pale I look compared to normal. I know what I'm feeling. So I've overcompensated with the way I dress at work, where I'm just looking sharp all the time. So nobody messes with you know what I'm saying? Look at them laughing. Because I don't want people, you know, pride, completely my pride, you know. And I mean, it's to the point, and I have such wonderful people that I work with. I mean, they see me every day. Friday, the gal that reports to me, she said, Joan, you need to go home now. And my immediate response is, no, I have other things to do. And the truth is, I can't even see straight because I'm so tired, you know. But, you know, I tell the key people that are in my life, you know, and let them love me. It's been a tough one. It's been a great question, though. Thank you.
Okay. That's all the time we have. Let's give Joan a hand. Big.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst and one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right, but I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.